Hello and welcome back to my series of videos called Materialistic. They are my series based around the properties and various things about pen blanks. So this is aimed at both pen makers and custom pen customers who just want to know a bit more about what their pens are made out of. So this is one of my blanks, which I call what do I call this one? I call this one Ancient Pottery. So it's a mixture of orange, sort of a terracotta-ish shimmery material there, and then there's a black and white mix aiming to be at the centre. Now I've taken this mix and I've done it various different times, and I'm going to show you this one, which is what I aim for. I'm going to show you what happens when things don't go right, but it still looks quite good. And I'm going to show you a pen which has been turned and made in my Zeus design, which is designed to show off the cross section of the blanks. So this is made out of Alumilite Clear Slow, which is a polyurethane 2-part mix. As you can see, it is just under 8.5 inches, and that equates to just under 215 millimeters. They are about 18.5 mil, which gives a good thickness for making pens. Usually I tend to make them about 15 mil, so we're cutting off about 3 mil. With this pen blank, I know there is going to be quite a large set of orange at one end, so I would generally make the section from that. I would then try and aim for the cross section to be within this black and white. So the longer side would be the barrel and the shorter side would be the cap. So if you can see at the top there is a little bit of terracotta mixed in at the top. So that would then match up with that once it's made into a pen, as you'll see later on. With this material, it's quite good for making pens. A lot of people use it. It's one that is quite common across pen makers and blank makers. Other people do use different 2-part mixes. This one is easy because it's half by volume, part A and part B. Yeah, so I'll show you the blank that didn't go quite well, and I'll show you how different a blank can be with the same mix of colours, just done differently. Okay. And here we go. You can see there that you've still got the sort of terracotta colour, about 50 mil up, and you've still got, there's a bit of terracotta at the top as well, but the black and the white has gone through the whole blank rather than just being clustered in the middle. It's not ideal for what I wanted it, but still, I quite like it. So when you turn these, there is a lot of dust that's created, so it's always advisable to the mask on, just so you don't breathe in all that dust. You can use lubricant to wet down the dust so that it comes off as a sludge rather than goes into the air, but still I would always advise using a mask. With this one, you can see how the black and the white have mixed. So what I've probably done here is poured it a little bit too early, so the mix has gone in or seeped down the mould. So we go on to a pen which has been turned but not polished, and then finally I'll show you what the difference is when a pen looks polished and when it's not. And there's the pen. As you can see, what I said about the cut-offs, you've got the cross section of the black and the white there. This hasn't been polished up at all, so you've still got the markings from the saw. So when you put these together, that was the cut. If we get the blank from the first, you can see where the bits came from. So that bit came from there, and that bit would have come from there. you can see you can tell with this bit that the black and the white is probably all through there, not just in the middle. So that's where you get this bit here, and you've got the terracotta colour there. Which goes on nicely to the matching bit there. So this one, like I said, I aim for about 15mm, and this is 15.03. Wall thickness on these about 1.5. If you get thinner than that, it will generally get a little bit flexible, but it shouldn't lose its structural integrity. It's quite solid stuff. Now, different materials act in different ways when you get to thicknesses of wall cavities of the walls, and they act in different ways when you're drilling them out. So when you're drilling out something that is 75 to 76mm deep, when you get to about here, heat will start building up because that's continually spinning. And so you're inserting the drill bit into there, and you've got friction around the outside. So you'll get a heat build up within there. So that's why you use lots of lube and drill small bits at a time. When it starts turning to powder, that's when you know that you've built up too much heat. This one, lengthwise, is just over 6 inches, which is about 160mm capped. And then the section, which I haven't got with me here, I have got another from a different pen. This one will end up being 150mm, uncapped. And when this is finished, I shall show you what it looks like. So there it is, with a very matte finish. And here we have the final pen. So as you can see, it's all been polished. There's that cross section. There we go, there's the light shining on it. So you can see that it's polished to a high shine. You've got the cross section there. As I said before, that should be the continuous pattern, and that should ideally be straight. So there will be some slight deviancy from the straightness of that join, because once these are cut, they are then sort of finished off by hand. So taking off the saw marks may make that angle slightly different on each side. But we're not here to talk about the design, we're here to talk about the pen, or the blank even. So as you can see, you've got the terracotta shimmeriness there and there. And on the section itself, you can see that that's got a slight bit as well, so you can tell that that came from the same side as that bit. I think, did it? Yes, it did. So that would have gone the blank would have been like that. This is one of my demo nibs. I'm not going to do a writing sample because there's no need. Like I said, we're here to talk about the material, not the pen. So the whole point of this is I've been asking blank makers to make me a custom blank, which is a mix of 2 different greens, one opaque, one translucent, and a white, where the other properties of said colours, so they could have a translucent white, an opaque green, and a translucent shimmery green, or they could have just flat colours, or they could have a little bit of sparkle in there with glitter. It's completely up to them. And then I'll be doing the same thing that I've done with this material, but for all of theirs, so that you guys can learn a bit more about different blank makers' approach to making the blanks and what their end result will likely be. And they're all going to be made to this design so that you will get that cross section of the blanks. So you get to see what's going on inside the pen, inside the blank as well as on the outside. I'm trying to make them all the same so that you get a better comparison between them. And then we'll just compare them as we go, so you get to see what they look like. And that's it. That's the format of the materialistic videos. So I hope you enjoy them. If you've got any comments about the format itself, what works, what doesn't work, just pop it in the comments. More than happy to read them, reply to them, and take feedback. That's it. All right. Have a good one.